What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to Your Ex-Drinking Buddy. My name is Brennan Tassif. I'll be your host. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. Check out the merch store at brennantcomedy.com/merch-store. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well. We'll put the shorts up there, the full video, the whole thing. Thank you so much for listening. I love it. I hope you love it. Subscribe on Patreon, too. We do bonus episodes. I do Tales from the Restaurant, where I talk about celebrities I've waited on and whether they're assholes or not, which is super fun. Also, we do a pre-show banter for my other show, Cheers from the Press Box with Joe Dorville. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on over there, too. Make sure you just subscribe everywhere, just all over the place. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not leaving the mean comments, thank you for that. Maybe leave a couple nice ones.
Grab me your beer and grab me a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do. Hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do. Hang out with somebody and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I'll be joined by a guest, and this week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Vickie Wang! Ah!
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I pronounce it Wang.
You do?
Yeah. I have a whole bit about it. It's really, honestly...
But it's called Wang's World Comedy.
Because I wanted to fuck with people.
So wait, let me get this straight. You spell it Wang.
Yes.
You have a show called Wang's World Comedy.
Yes.
And then when you come on to the podcast, you're just like, I'm just not going to say anything, and I'm just going to let him rip. And then I do it, and then you're like, oh, by the way,
you uncultured swine.
Hey, you cis white male, you disgusting American.
Just for the record.
Vickie
Okay.
Wang, everybody.
Well done. Just for the record, there are 107 million people with the surname Wang on this planet, and a lot of them who live in America pronounce it Wang. So it's very, very common.
So is Wang not a surname?
Wang
like
is a surname.
Wang?
It's just in Chinese we say Wang.
Okay,
Wang.
that's what I mean. Yeah. So it's not,
but in the U.S. people pronounce it differently, and
why
that
not
happens.
put the O there? Why put the A?
So the Anglo, like the Romanization. Anyway. Yeah. So the Romanization of names that are not in English. It's so
like
regionally,
Latin.
Regionally it's different. There are multiple different systems for how you Romanize Mandarin Chinese, Cantonese.
Okay.
So it's a big argument amongst people. Like, for example, the station, the subway station really close to my mom's apartment has 4 different spellings.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's, in a democracy you get to argue about which Romanization system to use and then disagree and then use all 4. In a dictatorship, you just have one and you're stuck with it.
Someone decides on it.
Someone decided.
Someone
at some point decided it's Wang. Now, if you learn Pinyin, that is pronounced Wang, like Dang, dang. Like it's just
okay.
It's just a different system. Like the way I explain it to people is like, is it Houston or is it Houston?
Yeah, no, that's
right.
A good
like
point.
there are many words in English where you pronounce it 2-3 different ways.
Homonyms, yeah,
and that's totally okay.
It's interesting too because there was a part of me. It's so funny you brought this up. There was a part of me that was like, it's Vickie Wang. Like in my head, like I was saying
You've
that.
heard it before, yeah.
But yeah, because I've heard it, like whether it shows, and I was like, it's Vickie Wang.
Yeah.
But then reading it, I was like, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. And then I ended up being that guy, trying not to be that guy.
I trapped you. Well, so when oftentimes
It's a trap.
Oftentimes when you meet someone whose last name is spelled Wong, that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Hong Kong romanization for the character Huang, which is actually a different character altogether.
Okay.
So the Wong and the Wang usually are written differently. I mean, I can text you the character.
No, I'm trusting you.
wanna,
I'm trusting you on this.
put the words
just underneath down
it's
here.
like little
That's
Chinese
so much editing,
lesson.
though.
I know.
That's so
It
much
is,
editing.
It is.
It's so. I don't know if this happens to you because obviously we both do comedy. Now when I see things, even if it's just like a little thing, whether it's on a YouTube clip or even on television, I'm like, God, the editing that it took just to do that one little like boop, and it's like that would be miserable.
I'm in the process of learning how to edit more videos and like do a podcast because apparently that's
Everyone's
part of
gotta have one.
everyone's got to have a podcast now. Everyone's got to do video, and now I'm watching content differently.
Yeah.
and quietly resenting capitalism and
Well,
all
and
the work
that's-
we have to do, but also
It's
really
so
enjoying
stupid.
doing comedy.
I love doing
in the
comedy.
US.
It's the other stuff, and I talk about this ad nauseum on the show, but it's the other stuff. It's
Yeah,
the
it's a
editing.
lot.
It's the posting. It's the social media.
Yep.
It's the engagement. It's all the other things. But let's talk about you, Vickie, because you're not originally from the United States, as we learned from our Mandarin lesson that we just had. You are from Taiwan.
Born and raised in Taipei, Taiwan. I sound like this because both my parents are English teachers in Taiwan. So my dad
Sound
was,
like what? I didn't even notice anything different.
Yeah, it's a very deceiving accent. It's very confusing for everyone. For the first few months of actually like so for the first few months of me dating my American boyfriend, he would forget that I was an American. Like I think at one point we were watching The West Wing and I was like, "What's a census?"
Love The West Wing. Shout out to your boyfriend. Love that
The
show.
West Wing, and it's just, and he's like, "What? How do you?" Oh,
Yeah.
whoops.
Right.
Oh,
right,
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys don't have censuses and general elections and things like that?
We have, so in Taiwan, we have a thriving democracy. It's very loud. It's very fun. We have a democratically elected president.
Shout out.
Yeah. We had a female president for 8 years already, and now
Look
we
at
have a
that.
female vice president. Yeah.
When did you? Because you have mentioned this before on stage about obviously everything happening between Taiwan and China and all that kind of stuff.
Fun.
That's a word. That is a word.
Real fun.
So for you, obviously you identify as Taiwanese.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Taiwanese with Chinese ancestry.
Okay,
Like
okay.
3 of my 4 grandparents came from China.
Got it. See, and that's because I'm from Eastern Europe where they use jus sanguimente, which is the law of the blood, versus in America, it's jus soli, which is the law of the soil. So if you're born in America, you're an American. That's the end of it. But I don't know because I'm not as familiar, obviously, with Asian cultures as I am with European cultures, being a second-generation immigrant. But over there, it's like, oh, no, you could be born in France. But if your bloodline is Serbian, which is in my case, you're Serbian. Like, it doesn't matter where you're born. So is that a similar case to what you're talking about in Asia?
It's not quite that. It's very complicated now to talk about what is Chinese or Chinese identity. The preferred term now is actually Sinophone. So Sinophone,
Okay.
it broadly covers anyone who speaks like Chinese languages, Chinese dialects. So like Hong Kong, Taiwan, Macau, Malaysia, like these are Sinophone regions.
Okay.
In Taiwan, obviously, it's a heavy debate, right? Like, are we Chinese or are we Taiwanese? Obviously, like we have our own president, we have our own SIM cards, like we have, it's a real country.
We have our own SIM cards is one of the greatest lines ever.
Yeah, but if I go and say that in front of the UN war, like it's very silly. Like being born Taiwanese is just you're politicized whether you want to be or not. Mm-hmm. Things like where Taiwan is not allowed to compete at the Olympics with our own flag and our so when our athletes win, the flag that goes up isn't our national flag, and
What flag is
the
it?
song we sing is not our national anthem. It's the Chinese Taipei flag.
Okay.
And this was a compromise when I think this happened in the 80s when obviously when China became powerful, they started pressuring the Olympic Committee to not let us, and we could have, and this is the funny part, people forget this, we could have competed as Taiwan, but at the time Taiwan really wasn't an identity yet. This was still during martial law in Taiwan, and at the time the government was the Chinese nationalist government.
Okay.
And they were very much like, no, we're taking back the mainland. They did not take back the mainland. We lost the Civil War, guys. Have you heard?
They have now.
The nationalist government lost to the communists and then retreated to Taiwan between 1947 and 49. And for decades afterwards, we're just in denial. And
now we're regrouping.
We're
regrouping.
So officially on my passport, it still says Republic of China, Taiwan, and it's very confusing for everyone. It used to just be Republic of China. And then people were like, so you're Chinese. I'm like, how do I explain?
I couldn't imagine someone at like LAX pulling open your passport and going, wait, what?
Yeah, what? So they've since changed the passport to include Taiwan in a big enough font that it's legible. Before it's Republic of China, and like China,
And just teeny.
The China we know is People's Republic of China. Very different.
Yes.
Very original. It's all very, very confusing. Yeah. Yeah. I do spend a lot of my time thinking about this because like my grandparents. Like I said, 3 of my 4 grandparents came from China during this like mass exodus. But also like my parents were both born in Taiwan.
Yeah.
I grew up in Taiwan. I'm obviously Taiwanese. There's really no other way to identify. But it is a contested subject.
Well, and it's definitely heated, like you said, it's a heated thing to talk about because it's very much like there's one side that's like, no, this is the way it is. And there's another side that's like, well, why can't it be like this? Yeah. Which we see all over the world, obviously, what's happening. But I want to talk about you because I don't want to get too far down the political rabbit hole because then all of a sudden I'm going to be pulling out stuff about the Civil War. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of... So, no, just reach for a book.
Would that be so terrible?
We could do 1861. We could do the People's History of the United States. Black AF History. That's a great book by my co-host for my other podcast, Joe Isidore. But let's talk about you. So you were raised in Taiwan.
In Taipei.
Okay. And then how old were you when you came to America?
So I first came to America at age 11 to go to Disneyland. It was very important. My dad.
I'm writing it down.
That's my dad was very insistent that I have that experience. I went to Disneyland at age 11.
Disneyland or Disney World?
Disney World at age 13.
Oh, you had that loaded.
And because of that, initially I thought all Americans wave at you on sight. I thought that was just an American thing. Turns out it was.
It's not a fully American thing, especially in the Northeast. Can I tell you though?
In the South?
My girlfriend is from Boston, and so when she comes back to Florida with me, the first time she came to Florida, we were walking at the beach, and I was waving at everybody, and she goes, "Are you the fucking mayor or something? How do you know all these people?" And I go, "Oh, I don't know any of them." She goes, "You've waved at everyone."
Yeah.
And I go, "Yeah, that's what you do in the South. You wave." So, I mean, I know Disney World is located in Florida, so maybe that has something else to do with it. But yeah, that's not an exclusively fully American thing. I just want to speak on behalf of Southern hospitality.
Regional representation matters.
Come on. Because my fiance, contractually obligated to mention Tracy. My fiance was very, not put off, but kind of a little confused about the waving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still wave? Please tell me you still wave.
So this is skipping forward in the story a little bit. I did work for Disneyland
in
China later in my life. So yes, I do a lot of waving, and I am generally a very friendly person to the point of being a little bit dangerous.
Just enough.
Just enough. I came to the U.S. in high school for my junior and senior year as a foreign exchange student. I went to Missouri and Minnesota.
Ooh.
America.
That is America.
That is America.
So you said your junior and senior year?
Yeah.
You went to Missouri first?
Yes.
And then Minnesota?
Yeah, public high school. It's very fun.
Yeah, let's talk about it. How was it?
Junior year, the boys called me Chink for like the first week.
Oh, that's disappointing. Wow.
But also Missouri. Like they got over it after a week. So
okay.
Yeah, so exposure therapy works when it comes to racism, I guess.
I mean, that's not true. We've heard, we've seen it in movies and heard stories, people who, all the World War II movies, and then they fight together and then they're friends for life.
Yeah. Like I understand that people nowadays are trying to be very respectful and careful with their language, but I do tend to give people the benefit of the doubt if it's just a vocabulary problem, right? Like I think it's different when, I've had incidents where like there's a difference between like, oh, you just don't know that we've decided that word is outdated.
We've moved on,
we've moved on from that word, versus like, oh no, you do inherently believe that I am a lesser human being than you.
Malice.
Right,
People
like,
use malice.
Right.
Yeah.
So I try to like give people the benefit of the doubt. But I'm also really aware that like, because I grew up in Asia, so I don't have the minority experience. I don't, I didn't grow up with people making fun of the way I talk or like what I eat.
That's just the way people talk.
There's just the way people, this is just what we eat. So I don't want, like, this is not me giving you permission to use the word Oriental.
Next time you go to Wang's World.
Just do not come at me and say this woman said it's okay to say the word chink. Like, no.
Clip it. So, what did you like better, Minnesota or Missouri?
I like both.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I wanted to, and it's a genuine question, because a lot of people listening would think I would be trying to bait you into being like, oh, Missouri, grow. But coming from a completely outsider's perspective, other than 11 and 13 going to Disney,
Right.
You had no premeditated, pre-existing bias towards where you were going, I would assume.
If anything, I think I had a lot of positive bias for America as a kid.
Okay.
So like Taiwan, in our process of democratizing and, just like the nationalist government going to Taiwan in the first place, the U.S. had a hand in that. And obviously there was a lot of cultural export. Two of my older aunts and one uncle immigrated to the U.S. in the 70s. And so I visited them in LA. So they would bring back, VHS tapes of Disney cartoons.
Love it.
I had a lot of, if anything, positive propaganda from America.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Are you a Disney adult now, currently?
I don't know if I qualify. I am a former Disney cast member. I do love Disney.
This is a pro Disney house. Well, at least one side of it is.
Safe space.
Yeah, safe space. I've got, I'm a big, the fiance's big into Harry Potter, but I've always been a Disney kid.
Yeah, I've had to set aside Harry Potter. I loved it a lot. I found it late. I found Harry Potter in college.
Okay.
So I found it late.
Well, you got to quite a few things late in life, comparatively to the American experience.
Yeah, like I started comedy at like 32.
Okay.
Yeah, started late. But Harry Potter, I've had to step away from, because J.K. Rowling came after one of our athletes last year during the Olympics. Called her a man. She's a boxer. Anyway, so I'm petty.
Yeah, we're out on JK. I forgot she was, and she did all the transphobe stuff too.
Yeah, and at first I was very much like, no, the books are ours now. You don't you don't get a say. You wrote it when you were a different person. Now you're something else, and I don't engage with you. And also, I pirated all your books. Statute of limitation.
Can you pirate a book?
Oh, yeah, statute of limitation on this. So when I was in China, I lived in China for almost 10 years. I moved there in 2013, and I left officially in 2022. And the bookstores and libraries were abysmal.
Libraries?
Yeah, libraries. So I had a book dealer on WeChat.
Did you? So wait, you're telling me that a authoritarian government that controls and owns the information wouldn't have awesome libraries? I mean, we're not saying no, but we're not saying so you had a book dealer.
I had a book dealer. And for 4 renminbi, I could get the EPUB, the Mobi, and the audio file.
Let's go.
But the only downside was you could only get bestsellers. Right, the selection was very much only the bestsellers, which also made me feel a little bit okay about pirating the books, because I'm supporting a local small business. Meanwhile, Brene Brown was okay on the royalties, so this is I didn't feel that bad about it.
That's like when who was it? Come on, you guys know. God, everyone's screaming into their phones right now. Rage Against the Machine, when they sued Napster. And it's like, is this really affecting your guys' royalties that much? Aren't you also raging against the machine?
That is interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, when
For
Napster first came
copyright
out.
infringement?
Yeah, it was like a huge lawsuit. And it ended up bankrupting Napster. But it was one
Wow.
of those things where it's like, and now being in the space of like, obviously I'm no Rage Against the Machine, but being in the space of like seeing where the majority of income comes in for performers, it's like you make all your money on touring anyway. Who cares? So Missouri. What was it like? I'm so fascinated by little details. And then we'll get into comedy and stuff like that later. But what was it like when you were like, hey, you're going, get on the plane? What was the process like to do it? Was it your idea, your parents' idea? Like, how did it even happen?
It was my idea. I was crashing out in Taiwan.
Okay.
So, most people probably know on some level, like the East Asian education model is incredibly stressful. We were going to school like from 7 to like, I don't know, 5, 6 p.m. I would go get dinner and then I'd go to after school. And, it was just very
rigorous, I've heard it been called.
It's very intense. So we do 3 years of middle school, 3 years of high school. By the time I was halfway through my first year of senior high school, I was burnt out. I was depressed. And I went online. This was 2002, 2001.
Okay.
I went on the 2000s internet and found this foreign exchange program and begged my parents to let me go. And my parents are awesome. So they were like, now as an adult thinking back, like she's 15.
And you're going to send her to Missouri.
You're going to send her across the planet to live with some strangers. And yeah, so I went and I had a great time. My Missouri host family they're amazing. I'm still in touch with them. I got this in Missouri, actually.
That's awesome. Be
yeah,
kind.
this is from a cafe in DeSoto, Missouri. Shout out.
Shout out DeSoto.
Yeah, so I went there my junior year, and then
Were you just lapping kids in school?
I did kick everyone's asses with my scarlet letter paper junior year. I remember the English teacher came in to class laughing. She was like, this foreign exchange student
Crushed you guys.
crushed all of you.
Well, and that's the other thing, too, because talking about the rigors of education in East Asia and then coming here, were you like, this is a joke? We're here for like 6 hours.
No, but I honestly loved it because...
Yeah, because you were going through...
I was burnt out. And I arrived at school, and mind you, like this DeSoto High School, like I loved my time there, but it was a very small school, and it like wasn't like very well funded or anything like that. But I arrived, and I'm like, oh, you can talk to the teachers, like you can have a conversation in class. That was not my experience growing up in Taiwan at all. Like it was a one-way street. It was just a lecture. And there was just so many more colors. There are all these like extracurricular activities. Did
you do anything?
I did choir.
Okay.
And I did poetry club and chess club, and I tried golf. That was bad.
Really?
It was inconvenient because at the time when I was in Missouri, I think there was a Taiwanese American golfer that was just stomping everyone.
Mm-hmm. That's hence my reaction.
Yeah, and she was also tall, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm 5'9", and so like I
6'2"?
joined.
Shall we?
Yeah, I joined the golf club, and everyone's like, she's gonna be amazing.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because my mind immediately went to Michelle Weah too.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. Like it was just like the expectation. Representation for Asian athletes who are not good at golf.
Oh man, I feel bad because immediately that's where my brain went to when you went. Golf was a disaster. That's why my first instinct was.
I am also
really?
bad at math.
I wasn't gonna ask that. When you said my scarlet letter paper, my brain immediately was like, that's not where I was going.
No. So I did algebra 2 my junior year, and because we had so many more hours in Taiwan, So I had so many more credits that converted. So by senior year, so I stayed in the US. I came back senior year because I didn't want to go back to Taiwan and repeat a year.
Okay.
So I decided
Did you go?
So I went to I had to go to a different school because like Homeland Security had different rules about exchange students versus international students, 2 different visas. Anyway, so I had to go back to Taiwan and come back to a different school in Minnesota that was like accredited or like they're allowed to have international students.
Okay. Was that quickly? Was that hard for you because you had made all these friends in DeSoto and that was kind of like your American home, and then you go back for the summer, I'm assuming, and then when you decide, oh, I want to go back to America, they're like, yeah, now you're going to a completely different climate, a completely different state. Was that hard for you, or you were like, I just want to go back to America?
I just wanted to stay in
Okay.
America. Yeah.
Got
So, but
You're like,
Anyway.
fuck you, DeSoto. I'm out.
yeah, so I love my host family in Missouri. I had a great time there. But I've also I went to, well, because of the foreign exchange program, I went to 3 different high schools. I also went to 3 different elementary schools because my family was moving around. So I am slightly better equipped for the change. But the important thing is I did algebra 2. I think I got a B-. But that meant that I had enough math credits. So I didn't do math senior year.
Oh, so you got out of doing math. Look at you. Look at you.
I was so happy.
I majored in political science in college so I wouldn't have to do math and history.
It's very important. Yeah, but then, so I finished high school in the U.S., got my high school diploma in Brainerd, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Went back to Taiwan, immediately took the college entrance exam, expecting not to get good enough grades to get into any university. I did luck into my English score was.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to track.
Yeah.
So you go back to Taiwan.
I go back to Taiwan.
The college entrance exam.
Yeah.
Is that for Taiwan or is that
For Taiwan.
for America? Okay.
Yeah, for Taiwan. Like my parents.
How does the college system work over there?
Yeah, so I would have loved to stay in the U.S. for college, but there was no way my parents could have afforded that.
Yeah.
In Taiwan, when I was growing up, we were in the process of sort of diversifying our college admission process. It used to be like, you've heard of the China Gaokao system.
Mm-hmm.
We call it Liankao. And it's just, you have one exam that determined your academic future, which was really stressful. By the time I was coming up, we had a slightly more diversified program. So I was able, because of my English score was so high, I was able to get into the English department of a private university that was pretty good.
Okay.
I would like to note that my English score, I think, was 98%.
Jesus.
My math score was 4.8%.
Like 4.8, not 48, 4.8.
4.8.
All right.
Representation matters. Not all Asians are good at math.
How does it work with your English being so high? And you said you got to a private university. Now, this is ignorance on my part. I'm more than willing to admit that. In a place like Taiwan, because it's not China, how is the education system set up? Is it set up where it's like it's the same university, it's the University of Taiwan, and there's just different campuses everywhere, or they're actually like different schools?
We have so many universities in Taiwan.
So it is. Okay.
Yeah. So I think the college admission rate is like over 80%.
Okay.
Almost everyone goes to university, to the point where most people need a graduate degree.
Yeah.
To be competitive.
Yeah, because the market becomes flooded, and then
Right.
So you knew English was your thing. You knew literature, language, whatever it was, that was going to be your thing. Because 98% is like fucking high.
Yeah, I actually don't know how I missed the 2%.
Love it.
I think I blame the ADHD.
So then you go to university in Taiwan. Is for full time?
Full time, yeah. And because
No more trips back to America?
No. So then my junior year of college, and I then went to Stockholm, Sweden for another year of foreign exchange program. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Sweden's pretty nice.
Socialism's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys heard.
Yeah, Sweden also has the highest suicide rate in the entire world.
But university was free.
What are they so depressed about?
It's really dark in the winter.
So
I woke up. I was out. I was partying a lot when I was in Sweden, and I remember I woke up one time and my clock was not a 24-hour clock, and it said 4 o'clock. and I didn't know if it was 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. That's how dark it gets in the winter, where you're just like.
Oh yeah, in Alaska they have to have like special blinds in the summer because it's sunlight 24 hours. And
special
then
blinds in the summer and light therapy in the winter.
Yeah.
Swedish people, at least the ones I went to school with, all worked out a lot. Like they're very like health conscious.
Got that Nordic blood.
People, yeah. But I think part of it is just like they very actively are managing their mood.
Oh
in the
yeah,
winter.
especially because sad is like a thing there. Like seasonal
very
affective
much
disorder
so.
is like it's all the time. It's not like it got dark at 4 o'clock. It's like no, it's dark all the time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you because you mentioned partying in Sweden, and you and I had talked before. You full disclosure to the listeners, you and I had talked before you came on the podcast because you're like, I don't really drink that much. It was never really my thing. But as you had said earlier, you kind of got into things late into life. Mm-hmm. So when was the first time that you actually drank?
Pretty early, actually. 16.
Okay, so
15, 16. I was
Missouri or Minnesota?
No, I was still in Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah. I was hanging out with a bunch of Rotary Club international exchange students in Taipei. So these are kids from Finland, from Paraguay, from Mexico, from Canada, like all over the world. And they would go out drinking in the park.
Okay.
We would go to Carrefour, the supermarket. The oldest looking kid would go and buy a bunch of liquor.
What's the drinking age in Taipei?
18.
18? Okay.
18. So the oldest looking girl, she's Canadian. She's tall and she wore like a zebra coat.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So no one at the supermarket was going to question her.
Blonde girl?
Redhead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She would get us the liquor, and so for whatever reason, they were all drinking, and I was like, I'm okay. Like, I'm happy just hanging out. And eventually, I decided,
happy to be here, guys.
I'm just happy to be part of this. I feel very cool. Just happy to be involved. But then, but yeah, so we decided, like one night we were just like, tonight's the night we're gonna drink. Vickie's gonna drink for the first time, and for whatever reason, we decided that Carrefour tequila was a good idea.
Okay.
So I remember.
You said that was the name of the supermarket?
Carrefour, yeah, it's a French supermarket.
I just don't. Anytime you're drinking a booze that's named after the supermarket, it's never great.
Yeah, so I still distinctly remember after 2 shots, I was so happy. I was delirious. This is the greatest thing in the world. I was calling my friends, yelling at them. I think one of them was at a church service. And then we were like, this is great. Let's do a 3rd shot. And then I proceeded to spend the entire evening with my head in the toilet.
Just throwing up. My parents came home. I did this at my home. My parents came home, and they were very cool about it. Really?
So neither of my parents drink. And they came home, and they were like, do you need something? Can we make you some, like, hot tea? Like, are you okay? And
so they didn't know.
Oh, so they knew.
They knew
I was drinking.
Wow,
I immediately confessed. I was like, I've been drinking with my friends, and my friend was like, no, we're in trouble. I'm like, no, my parents are fine. Like, they're very, very chill. Again, representation matters. Some Asian parents are cool.
Yeah, you're breaking through all sorts of stereotypes on this episode, and I'm here for it. Yeah, I love it.
But that also explains why I was hanging out with the foreign exchange students, because I was such a weirdo. Like all of my classmates, they bonded by complaining about their parents.
Yeah. And you're like, I don't know.
I was like,
mine are pretty cool, actually, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
They treat me like a full human being with, like, valuable opinions.
Is that such a weird idea for you guys?
And they were like, we hate you. Go away. But yeah,
so
that was
the Finnish kid.
Oh my God, the Finnish girl used to just run into traffic when she was drunk. That was another. And like, so like, I saw a lot of these antics before I started drinking, which is also why I was like, let's do it at home. And like, you know, I already could see that drinking made people do stupid shit. Mm-hmm. But then, so after the tequila, I was like, okay, well, that was, everybody throws up the first time they drink. Let me keep trying. And then every time after that, I would end up throwing up.
Okay.
So eventually, like, my friends worked out my limit is half a drink. So like half a beer, half a Smirnoff Ice, Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Love a Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah, just like, so half I'm okay, but really I'm very uncomfortable.
So you ended up discovering that basically you have an allergy to alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is something, it's funny because in the super secret program I'm in, they talk about like, we all have an allergy. And when I think of an allergy, I think of like a peanut or a strawberry where like you break out in hives and you get really sick. So whenever they would say that, I go, that's a great way to put it because it gives you like something to kind of latch onto to be like, oh, if I do this, bad things happen. Yeah. But it's not like a physical, like, oh my God, if I drink this, I'll break out in hives and my esophagus will close. But for you, it is actually a physical, which it's not something that's unheard of. I had an ex that I dated in college who had the same thing where she, similarly to what we're going to talk about, she started doing other things because she was like, if I drink one drink, I get violently ill.
It's not fun.
And so for you, you were like, oh, this just isn't, it's not because it was my first time. Like over time, you were like, oh, this is just what happens.
Yeah. Like even my German friends, especially like the 1 year in Sweden, there were a bunch of German exchange students and they refused to believe that I was actually allergic. They were like, we can train her. We have the technology.
If she dies, she dies. Oh wait, that's Russian. Sorry.
But then eventually even the German exchange students were like, no, Vickie's not allowed to drink.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. She bums everyone out. Like
we have to watch her and take care of her.
Yeah, there needs to be a bucket. Like
when did you find out about the kombucha thing?
Very late.
Because that's hilarious to me. But your body has such an adverse reaction to alcohol that then this happens.
Yeah, so I found out, after I started dating my current boyfriend. So that's like 5-6 years ago. So mid-30s, I found out that I could get drunk on kombucha. Which is simultaneously the most Asian and somehow whitest thing about me.
Because your body has such a sensitivity to it. You drink kombucha, which for those of you listening has alcohol in it.
0.5%.
Yeah. And it's so funny to me because like people I meet in the super secret program, they'll be like, we'll go out to dinner and they'll be like, oh, I'll take a soda with like, give it some bitters. And I go, there's alcohol in bitters. And they're like, yeah, barely. And I go,
I mean, for some people's constitution, it probably doesn't register.
Yeah, that's true.
But for
Very
me,
good point.
like,
but you're the exact opposite.
2 kombuchas, and I'm like, I love you. You're
How
so
did you find this out?
Were
you just drinking kombucha because it was like the in thing to do?
Some
and everyone was
hipster
doing
friend was
Yeah.
like, this is good for your gut biome. And then I was just sitting there wasted.
Were you, I'm obsessed with little details. Were you out somewhere? Were you like at home? So you just bought some at the store?
No, my friend made it himself.
Okay.
And it was just like, this is delicious. I'm like, this is very pungent. I don't know why we're doing this, but okay. And then I was just...
I assume this took place in Brooklyn, I would assume.
Shanghai?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn of China.
Yeah, Brooklyn of China. I don't know. But yeah, like, but for years, like, so all the way, like, so found out at 16... Like, tried a little bit again in Sweden, but generally for most of my adult life, I just didn't drink.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of partying. Like, I was a model in Taipei in my early 20s. And every weekend, there would be some old dudes who would pay for a table at the club. And if you're tall enough, you could just walk in for free.
And you are tall enough.
I am tall enough. And there would always be juice at the table.
That's true. There is always juice for mixers.
Yes. Well, I found out later that they're for the alcohol, but
you're like, hello, OJ.
Yeah, it's free juice.
So when did you finally make the move to be in America full time?
Last year. Well,
okay.
So the process started in 2022. I was living in Shanghai for 9 years at the time when the Shanghai lockdown happened.
Okay.
Have you heard about this?
Not referring to the like a COVID thing.
Yeah, and this is kind of the part where it gets tragic but hilarious. So I was in China all through COVID.
Okay.
And I was
What is the experience going from Taiwan to China? Is that
interesting? It was interesting.
I was going to say, is that difficult for you? Is that something where...
Yeah, it was quite a cultural adjustment. Like I had done 2 years in the US, 1 year in Sweden. I had assumed moving from Taiwan to China would be easy. We speak the same
There's
language.
got to be so much animosity, though.
Not from China towards Taiwan, actually. Chinese people are actually really friendly towards Taiwanese people.
Okay.
Because they grew up with the narrative of like, oh, Taiwan is a lost province.
It's a part of China.
It should be returned to China. So
Yeah.
most of the Chinese people I encountered were very nice about it.
Okay.
If anything, it's mostly like benign curiosity of like, why don't you guys want to come back? Our
Yeah.
economy is doing great. Like we're the same people.
That's what they told us. Our
Yeah.
economy is awesome.
Right. But then obviously like living under an authoritarian regime with censorship and all that, like that was
Yeah, all the
that
things
was,
that come with the authoritarianism.
right,
Yeah.
right. All of that comes with a caveat, and then there are compromises that you have to make.
Like having to get a book dealer.
Yeah, having to get a book dealer, not being able to talk about Taiwan, right? That was like that was one of the things like people like before I did my very first open mic, I was told I was not allowed to talk about Taiwan, Tibet, and Tiananmen Square, which is known as the Three Ts, and you know it's the controls there, but you also get you do get complacent over time.
Well, and it's an old adage in history, especially about wars and stuff, but it's people want to be led. People want. There's a human characteristic where most people want to be told what to do because it makes their life easier. And I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, every person is different, but I think in the grand scheme of things, if you come up under this kind of a regime and this is what your life is, there's gotta be some comfort in not having to worry about certain things.
Yeah, like. And COVID was actually a super interesting time to be living in China because for like the first year and a half of COVID, living in Shanghai was quite normal.
Mm-hmm.
So to put this in perspective, I was back in Taipei during Chinese New Year of 2020. And I found out, I was working for Disneyland, Shanghai Disneyland at the time, and I found out on TV that Disneyland was closing because of COVID. And I still, against all of my friends and family's advice, went back to Shanghai. I was like, because my cats are there. I'm not going to abandon my cats.
Yeah.
And I have plenty of friends who decided not to come back to China and then just couldn't come back because they closed borders. Mm-hmm. So like separated from friends, families, spouses, children.
It's a lockdown,
pets.
like a legit
like
lockdown.
They just locked down. But also because they locked down so hard early on, you know, and all these measures that were at the time described as very draconian and inhumane, COVID was contained for the first. So by March of 2020, I was back in my office at Disney. Like we were working in the office, March of 2020, just when the rest of the world was on fire.
Yeah, because it started with you guys and it started over in China in like, what was it, November, December?
December, like late December of 2021.
And so because the measures were taken, and again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that obviously there is a lot of downside to an authoritarian regime, but there are upsides. There's no one to fight back to say like, no, you can't do this. The government says we're doing this. Yeah. This is how it is. And now all of a sudden everyone's back at work in 3 months because they're like, no, everyone here's been cleared. No one's come in.
Yep.
We're fine.
And that's like, for the first year and a half of COVID, it was like that. People were like, yeah, I'm kind of glad that I'm here during COVID and not in the US. Like there were no.
Where everyone's fighting about what we can and can't do.
Right. There was no
out
politicizing of masking. There was no politicizing of vaccination. Like it was just, oh, this is for public health, and so we do the thing.
Yeah.
Now, I would like people to know that Taiwan also locked down borders and also imposed quarantine and also like had to do masking and had to like fight really hard to get vaccine access. And so they're like, I don't want people to walk away from this going like, see, it works under an authoritarian regime. Like Taiwan's a democracy. and we still managed.
Well, we did the same thing here.
Right.
But there were certain states that were in lockdown longer than others based on, but again, to your point, it's
Maybe
like,
you have like and also Taiwan's an island that helps,
Yeah.
right? You have permeable borders in the U.S.
same thing
where
with
people are-
Australia. That's why when it first started, they were just like, just shut it down.
New Zealand, right? Like island nations do have an advantage there, but there is a way to protect public health without sacrificing like human mental well-being.
100%. But I think the big thing is when you, in an authoritarian, there, as we were saying earlier, there's no one to push back. It's just like, this is what we were told. This is for the greater good. This is what we're going to do. The thing
is, eventually people always push back.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
Like it just happened a lot faster here where people were like, who's public health? I can't go to work. Who's public health?
Yeah. Yeah.
The 80-year-old woman, she should stay inside anyway. And then all of a sudden you get those arguments where people are like, or my immune system's fine. I was asymptomatic. Like, fuck off. And then you get into those debates about like, what is freedom? And so, but I interrupted just because I wanted to make that point for the U.S. where it's like, we try to do a lot of the same things, but being raised to something you were talking about earlier, being raised in an environment where you are almost encouraged to challenge authority. Like you said, with teachers in Taiwan, you don't talk back. You don't talk at all.
Right.
But in America,
I did.
Yeah. Well, you're good at English. But
No, my parents were called to school all the time.
But in America, it's almost encouraged to be like, this is a running dialogue.
Right.
So as you get older and then everyone's telling you what you can't do, all of a sudden that fucking USA, you're not going to tell me shit.
Yeah. Which I find charming.
Yeah.
It can be annoying at times.
It can be incredibly fucking annoying when you're like, just do the thing and we're done.
Yeah, just do the thing. Or I don't know, not everyone has to have a hot take all the time.
Yeah. I personally, I was incredibly torn because there was a part of me that was like, no, like this is the land of the free. Like go out.
Yeah.
You are, by leaving your home, you are accepting your own risk.
Yeah.
But then things would happen where my uncle would be like, hey, your grandma got COVID. She's not doing so well. And I'm like, who the fuck went out? So it was a very trying,
it's
because your morals say one thing, you want to stand on one thing, but then the reality of it is like,
and democracy is constant give and take, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like freedom means you're responsible for your own decisions, but also living in a democracy, you are living with other people.
Yeah. Who make their own decisions.
Exactly. So how do you so there's this constant push pull, and that in itself is a tiring process.
Mm-hmm.
And I can totally understand because I did this myself for almost a decade. I lived in a place where I had to just compromise my values for the sake of better job opportunities. It's a bigger job market. Like I was, when I was living in Shanghai, I was just headhunted from job to job. I never had to submit my resume anywhere. And it's very easy to become complacent in that environment when it's working for you.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so for most of COVID, living in China.
You're such a professional. You brought it right back. I was about to, and then you were like, so that actually sets up the point I was trying to make earlier.
I blab professionally.
You do. You're going to be great. I can't wait to get your own podcast.
Coming soon. But yeah, so China was great for first year and a half. Like I was like, I had my birthday dinner, March 26th of 2020. I had a group birthday dinner in public at a restaurant. Now we were seated like the Last Supper, which was hilarious to me. I don't know how that was supposed to but there were a lot of measures that were very, very silly. But generally speaking, for the first half of COVID, living in China was like almost normal. And then by late 2021, the rest of the world had moved on from COVID. Like the vaccines came out, we were all vaccinated. I was working at Disneyland, so it was like I was required to be vaccinated. And there was really no argument about it. And I didn't mind. I was like, okay, great. Like that means we can move forward. But then China just kept holding on to their zero COVID policies. So borders were still closed, but we were still like scanning a QR code everywhere we go for track and trace, like for contact tracing. And, then there's this feeling of like, why, like, I think like the World Cup happened and we were all like, what are we still doing? And then Omicron finally broke through in China, and there were cases in Shanghai. So they announced that they were going to lock down so Shanghai, the city is divided by a river in the middle. So they were like, okay, the east side is going to lock down for 4 days, and then the west side is going to lock down for 4 days, which didn't make a lot of sense. But I was like, okay, 4 days. And at the time I was like, 4 days is not so bad. It'll probably be 2 weeks, but it'll be okay. Like, we'll be fine. It ended up being 60 days.
60 days?
Yeah.
They just shut everything down?
They shut everything down. And the other thing I didn't anticipate at all was that they shut down all deliveries.
So you couldn't even get anything?
I ate a box of cereal that expired 2 years ago that I found in like the very back of my kitchen cupboard. At one point.
How do they expect people
eventually
to survive? But I'm saying like week 3, and you're a mother of 2.
Yeah.
You go to the grocery store every week because your kids are burning through your groceries. How do they expect that person to get food?
Eventually the government started issuing rations.
Okay.
But that became chaos in itself because the food rationing was managed by each district. So like the district that were wealthier got really good supplies, and like the poorer districts were getting like expired foods, and like there was corruption. It was crazy. Also during lockdown, like every 3 or 4 days we would be doing a mass COVID test. Eventually they figured out that the mass testing was what was spreading COVID, which
I don't understand. How does this keep happening? Get everybody in a room together and test them again.
Yeah, just all line up.
Oh God. So then,
all line up and be tested by these people who we recruited out of nowhere. We put them in hazmat suits. I don't know how much training they had on cross-contamination.
God.
But it was wild. So 2 months of lockdown, that obviously wrecked my mental health, wrecked my boyfriend's mental health.
You guys were together at the time?
So we were living separately at the time. We each had a 1-bedroom, and we decided to lock down separately because we thought it was going to be like couple of weeks at most.
And
right?
were you had just started dating, correct?
We had been dating for about 2 years for all of COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it
because this happened later on in COVID.
Right.
Okay,
it also wasn't the first lockdown.
Yeah.
Right. So we were like, we've seen this before. We got this. Like, actually, it was really funny when he first got his cat. He got his cat. Like, she's very, very cute, and so he's a first-time cat dad. And he stayed over at my apartment, which is like a few blocks from his apartment, for one night, and was fussing about the cat the whole night. It's like, is she okay? Is she okay? I'm like, is she?
Am I okay?
Am I okay? Excuse me. But then we walked back to his apartment the next morning, and his building had been locked down.
So he couldn't go in?
He couldn't go in. And they were like, we're locking down for 48 hours until everyone tests negative. And he's like, can I go in?
I live here.
And I was, and they're like, no, you can't come back in. And so like, I had to so first of all, he was freaking out because he thought the cat was starved. The cat was fine.
Cats always are fine.
Cats are fine. But also like, I remember
Surprise,
I had to call his doctor and get an emergency prescription for him because like his meds was about to lapse. Like, it was a whole thing. So there were already sporadic 48-hour lockdowns happening around the city where there were videos of people running out of the mall when they found out that the mall was about to lock down. Offices and companies were telling people to pack an overnight bag for the office just in case.
God.
And teachers were being told that they should bring a sleeping bag to school.
Because this is different in the sense where if that happens, we're talking about if I'm at a mall in New Jersey and they're like, hey, we're locking down, I'd be like, hey, go fuck yourself. Yeah. And I'd walk out.
Yeah.
But that's not how that works.
No.
So
2 months of that.
Get through COVID.
Yeah.
You guys decide to move to the States.
Yes. Well, his company decided that they were done.
Okay.
So they relocated him back to New York, and I went back to Taiwan to start the whole immigration process.
Okay. And so how long, you said you started in 2022?
Yeah.
So and then you just, became a full-time American last year.
Long distance for like almost 2 years. So
That's a 2-year process then.
It was like, initially I thought with my resume I could just apply for a job that would sponsor my visa.
Yeah.
Which felt like a very reasonable expectation at the time. I had 0 interviews.
Oh,
like
wow.
The first.
So you went from getting headhunted for every job to not even getting a call.
I mean,
back.
I worked for Disney and Lego and Gensler, like one of the biggest architecture firms in the world. Like my resume is
stacked.
Yeah, but nobody cared. So I eventually applied for the O1 visa, which is for aliens of extraordinary abilities.
Let's go. 98%.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard.
Yeah. So
I also used to model. I don't know which is more extraordinary.
All of it, really all of it.
You put it all together, you
Yeah.
have one extraordinary individual.
Yeah. Well, so the O1 took like a year and a half.
God, now I want to call this episode an extraordinary individual.
Alien of extraordinary ability. That's the full name.
Not putting alien in the title.
I kind of love the title.
Okay.
Like when the visa came through, I bought a shirt that was like a UFO, like beaming cats into it, like kidnapping cats. Like that was my celebration shirt. I was like, I got my visa. Yeah.
So you got the O1 visa.
I got the O1 visa. My lawyer didn't think I was going to get it, but he didn't tell me that while I was applying.
What did you use as your thing?
Writing and interpreting.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been published a few times before, thank goodness. And
shout out.
I have a master's degree in interpreting, so that helps. But
do you know who Ben?
tricky.
Do you know Ben Frank?
Yeah.
Do you guys just speak Mandarin to each other a lot?
No, but he is pretty good at Mandarin. He's pretty impressive, and yeah, we
just
did
won't
comedy.
speak it.
Huh?
He is like, I always want him to like speak it, but obviously he only speaks it when he needs to, or like
Right.
when he's tutoring.
Yeah.
But it's just.
I
Because
also
he
think
jokes about it on stage because he's like, I'm a Jew from the Northeast.
I do think it's
Mandarin.
hilarious that there's a Jewish guy teaching kids Mandarin in New York
I know.
City.
It's so funny. But I'm
I
always
don't
just
know,
like.
does he have a Chinese girlfriend yet? How does he not have a Chinese girlfriend?
He has a whole bit about this.
Oh, gosh.
Where people are, I'm not going to butcher it, but he has a whole bit where he talks about it. But I'm always like, can you just say a couple of He's like,
我
no.
可以跟你说中文啊，没关系，我们现在就接下来就直接换
But
中
for you,
文。
you're from Taiwan.
But so this is actually something I get really annoyed about
That's
too.
like me speaking Eastern
No one
European.
is impressed that I talk like this. No one cares.
I am.
If you're a white guy, 然后你可以这样说中文的话, you're on TV. All of them. All of the white guys who speak Mandarin are on TV.
Except Ben Frank.
Like, no, he was on TV in China.
Was he?
Wasn't he? He must have been.
He had to have been.
He had to have
God,
been.
now we're gonna have to read. He's a friend of the show. He's been on before. I want to ask you because we have a few minutes left, and we talked about you getting into drinking, realizing that you are allergic. We talked about the kombucha debacle. So you pivoted. You decided drinking's not for me. What happened to where you were like, but I still kind of want to get fucked up?
Yeah.
And you decided to explore other things.
Yeah, it's been very unfair to have to adult without any substance.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Like everyone
I got
else.
7.5 years. Tell me about it.
Well, I had 20
That's true.
of just like, no, I had a really hard day at work. I guess I'll just
Sit in it.
sit with these feelings.
It's the worst. I hate it. I mean, I love it. Sobriety's given me everything in my life, but I'm also just like,
That noise just now, yes. But yeah, so now that I'm in New York, actually the first time we left China, we went to Detroit to visit my boyfriend's family, and his mom took us to a dispensary.
ooh, okay, Mom. Cool parents, the both of you.
Yeah. We really lucked out, but it was amazing. I was like, this looks like an Apple store.
Oh, it's one of those like nice new ones, all white with the.
It's very sleek.
Got some gummies.
I was very overwhelmed. Like obviously I had been around marijuana before.
Not like that.
Not like this, man. Oh, it's an industry now. It's so nice. But yeah, I'm still a lightweight. Like I think.
When did you first try weed?
I snuck a little bit in high school when I was in the U.S.
Okay.
But I was very, very nervous about it because they were very clear that if you get caught with drugs, you're being sent home.
You're back, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And it's super illegal over there, isn't it?
In Taiwan, yes.
That's what I thought.
In China, super illegal. At one point,
But a
the
lot of fun stuff is super illegal in China.
yeah, and marijuana isn't even that crazy. But at one point, when I was in Beijing, I went to Beijing to see a friend's show, and afterwards we went to like a burger restaurant, and then all of a sudden the police just came in, locked the doors, turned the lights on.
Jesus Christ!
And they were like, "You're all gonna have to pee in a cup." I'm like, "What now?" And so at the time, like a female police officer, she was there like kind of as an interpreter. Like she spoke good enough English. So, and they were clearly targeting like foreigner heavy bars and restaurants. So, but this female police officer like followed me into the bathroom with her body cam. So she looked away while I was peeing, but like somewhere in Beijing, there's a pee tape of Vickie Wang. So
Somebody get your hands on that tape.
So if I ever run for anything,
find the pee tape. When did you try hallucinogenics? You had told me that you had done.
Yeah.
You had tried LSD or
yeah,
mushrooms.
So
mushrooms is a big thing that I'm starting to hear more and more about from people.
Yeah. So I tried mushrooms for the first time. We went to a Pretty Lights show.
Okay.
Pretty Lights is a EDM musician in Brooklyn, and my boyfriend was like, we're gonna do this. And he's like a good Sherpa, you know, like he's always been into like these like music festivals and stuff. So him and his friends are like very well versed. So I felt like I was in really good hands, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a great time.
Did you like it?
Loved it.
I
loved it.
So many good things about it.
I've been very lucky. I've had very good experience with mushroom, with ecstasy, with LSD. Like I'm going through. I'm working through a catalog.
For the listeners, the reason why this is so funny to me is because when I text Vickie about coming on the show, she goes, "I don't really drink. I don't know if I'm gonna have very many stories." And then you're like, "I've had great experiences with ecstasy and mushrooms and
is this gonna get me deported?"
kombucha."
Like,
no, you are a person of extraordinary ability.
you never know. You never know.
That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I've had a great time.
30 minutes. Hey, can you take out?
Yeah. But yeah, it's really nice to do it with friends.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to do it with people who are experienced, who like look out for you.
My biggest thing was everyone's like, "Oh, you need to be in a good headspace." And it's like, I've never been in a good headspace ever in my life. So I'm not going to try this. But now being sober for a long time, I've had people who don't drink. I wouldn't call them sober, but they don't drink. And they're like, "Oh, mushrooms help me a lot because it helped like rewire the way I look at things. And I still don't drink alcohol, but now I don't like even think about it. I don't even want it." And I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds great, but I'm not doing it."
It's interesting. So
I'm gonna
obviously
be
I
that
can't speak.
fucking-
My wiring, obviously, like my entire constitution is just like, no, we don't do alcohol. So you and I, like,
It's different. Yeah.
If your body was wired for alcohol, like we have very different like constitutions. But in my experience, it's just a nice reset.
That's awesome.
Like I remember for New Year's Eve, I did ecstasy for the first time at a friend's home in New Jersey, and with my boyfriend and his friends, and I just remember like I felt like I was meeting my boyfriend for the first time.
Oh,
Like it was really sweet. It was just like it's just like, you know, we've been living together for a while, and like, you know, you get you know, you're not unhappy, but you're in this
Complacent.
space where like, yeah, you're just like, I'm so used to you being around, and it was just like, oh, I was seeing him with fresh eyes, and it felt really nice. Like it was like a really sweet moment. And it was just like, it was like a really nice, like, I forgot how handsome you are. It's like, what a cutie patootie I have for a boyfriend.
There you go.
Yeah, like I was just like, are you my boyfriend? He's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's so cool, dude.
I've always wanted one of those.
Vickie, this was a blast. And you thought you were going to have enough time. We burned through an hour and it felt like no time at all.
But it's, you know, as soon as I start talking about politics and identity, it's just.
Here we go. Oh, we did. Just real quick, because we have like a minute or two left. Yep. You started comedy in China.
In Shanghai, yes.
And they gave you this long list. So then because you talk about this on stage.
Yeah.
So then when you moved to America and they're like, yeah, just go. What was that? Was that shell shock for you?
No, it was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, actually.
But I did. It was interesting because I had to learn how to write political jokes for the first time. Like I was never used to like having to have a hot take. Like I said, like I think that is a skill. Like, I really admire comedians who can respond very quickly to current events, because that hasn't been, it wasn't how I was writing before. Right? Like, it was always like, oh, anecdote from my dating life, from my everyday life, from my work. It was never like, oh, this thing happened today, let me just spin out like 15 jokes. Like, I that's something I'm still working on, but I'm happy to be in an environment where I can do that now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Plug everything before you go. Let everybody know where they can find you.
So Wang's World Comedy is the show that I run every month at Comedy Village. It's very fun. We have a stellar lineup every single month. I co-produce it with a talent manager named Jason Steinberg. He's been in the industry forever. I write a Substack called Happy Medium, because an interpreter is a type of medium, and I strive to find the perfect balance between different perspectives. So I finally broke 100 subscribers, and I would like more. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media. You guys already know that. BrennanTComedy.com. I'll be in LA November 22nd for the taping of Matt Fulcheron's new special. So come out and see me there. We'll get together. Vickie, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you,
Vickie
Brennan.
Wang, everybody. We'll talk to y'all next week.